Hello and welcome back to my video. This is a Hold My Hand, and it's a Dream XYN. This is also, and the credit goes to Instrumental Break. Anyways, onto the video. Dream. The small freshly baked churros wavered through the air as I admired the beautiful tree ahead of me. I was visiting Clay in Florida for the first time, and as a surprise, he brought me to Disney World. It had been a dream of mine since I was a kid to come, and it was even more amazing. It was even more amazing coming with him. I turned away from whatever fantasy building I was admiring and back to Clay at the little gift shop next to me. He was putting his wallet back in his pocket, thanking the cashier and shoving something small in his front pocket. He grinned at me as he turned around and made his way back to me. "What did you end up getting?" I asked as we began walking again, trying to maneuver through the crowd. He chuckled. "Something for my mom. I promised I'd get her something while we were here." I laughed, nodding. "Mama's boy," I teased, to which he rolled his eyes. So now that we've explored pretty much all of Magic Kingdom, where do you want to go?" he asked, pausing in a corner between a little cafe and an ice cream shop where foot traffic was quieter. "It's up to you. I already chose most of our day," I chuckled, but he shook his head. "I've been before. This is your first time. You should do whatever you want to do." I sighed, surveying the area around us. We had spent most of the day looking at different attractions in and out of gift shops and getting snacks from little stands. I wasn't sure what else I wanted to see, so I turned to him again. "I want to do whatever you want to do. That's my choice." He laughed, rolling his eyes. All right, since you insisted, let's go to Splash Mountain. It's not a true Disney trip if you don't go on Splash Mountain at least once." He smiled and I nodded, but my stomach twisted. I hated roller coasters. It wasn't even that I didn't like riding them. I was just terrified of them. I wasn't even sure why. We started walking in the direction of Splash Mountain, my heart racing, being on verse for an excuse to get out of riding it. The mountain loomed over us as we stepped into the line. As we stood there, I watched a log filled with people fly down the big drop, screaming and cheering, and felt myself start shaking. Of course, we had to come at the time the line was the shortest as well, so we were only a few people away from getting in. I tried my best to hide my nervousness with fidgeting with my bag, but Clay clearly noticed it. "Are you okay?" he asked as we started to approach the loading zone. Looked at Hip and nodded. Yeah, I'm good." I forced a smile which he clearly didn't believe. "Are you nervous?" I glanced at the log that was being cleared for us to sit in, and my stomach twisted again. I shrugged, and he smiled subtly and chuckled slightly. I looked down to see a hand being held out to me. "You'll be alright. Just hold my hand, okay?" I hesitated for a moment, but took it anyway, and he led me to a seat. After we were strapped in, I debated on jumping out of the coaster and ran away, but Clay squeezed my hand tighter. I looked at him, terrified about what was to come, but he simply smiled at me, rubbing his thumb over the back of my hand. Suddenly, the coaster jolted into the mountain, and we decayed into the darkness. Most of the ride was slow, but the invitation to the final jump made me all the more nervous. I tried to only focus on how warm Clay's hand was, how our hands fit so well together, which helped a little bit, but I was still terrified. Finally, after what felt like ages, we reached daylight, and I could see the track disappear down the big drop. Clay glanced at me and squeezed my hand again. Just don't think too much, okay? I'm right here. It'll be fun." I nodded, and suddenly we were hanging over the park. I could see people walking around the straws, kids with ice cream cones, couples with Mickey ears. Out of nowhere, we were plummeted down, everyone's hands flying in the air and passengers screaming, yet Clay never let my hand go. I found myself throwing my free hand in the air and our intertwined ones went up together, both of us screaming. For once, though, it wasn't out of fear. I enjoyed it. The rush of underlined the wind in my face, the feeling of being weightless, Clay's hand to mine. In mine, I mean. When we landed at the bottom, I laughed, feeling relieved. See, that wasn't so bad, was it? Clay asked, squeezing my hand with a smile. I rolled my eyes. It was fun, I'll give you that. He laughed, shoving me with his shoulder, but never letting go of my hand. Time skip, a little, I think. After that, time skip. Later that night, we were sitting in Ekarat watching the incredible fireworks show before we started our journey back to his house. The marvelous colors and sounds of professional fireworks filled the air, and I was taking in every minute of it. The fear from earlier was gone, and I was just happy to be here with Clay watching Disney's famous fireworks. Out of nowhere, Clay taps my shoulder, making me jump. He chuckles a bit as I turn to him, rolling my eyes. I got this for you, he says, pulling something out of his pocket. At the gift shop today, I raised an eyebrow looking at the black velvet bag sitting in his hand. I thought you said it was for your mom. He rolled his eyes, slightly annoyed. I was lying, stupid. It was a surprise. I chuckled, taking the bag from him and snipping it open. A silver chain fell into my hand, which was what I presumed to be a necklace. You know, you didn't have to get me anything, I said, looking back at him, his eyes glowing underneath the brilliant fireworks. You already brought me here, and spending time with you was all I couldn't ask for. He rolled his eyes, smiling. Just take it, okay? I picked up the necklace, and on the end was a little charm with Cinderella's castle on it. I wasn't sure if you liked necklaces, so I thought you'd like the charm, to remember today. I smiled, putting a hand on his shoulder. I love it, thank you. He grinned with pride, nodding as I hooked the necklace around my neck. Here, let me help you, he said, reaching up and pushing my hair back so he couldn't hook the necklace on me. My stomach fluttered, feeling his hands against my neck, and after he finished clipping it, he paused. I'm not sure if it was the fireworks, Clay's kindness, or the Mickey Mouse chair we had split earlier, but I found myself wishing he wouldn't let go. He stared at me for a moment, and I admired him while he did. Can I kiss you? He asked, and I nodded without a second of hesitation. He pressed his lips to mine, and my heart skipped a beat, while the fireworks rained down behind us. We stayed like that for a moment, until I heard something behind us. Hey, lovebirds! We quickly split up to my dismay and looked over our shoulders to see an old man and his wife sitting behind us. You two are very cute, but we'd really like to watch the fireworks and not your makeup session. I felt my cheeks heat up with embarrassment, and we turned back around, and Clay started to laugh hysterically. I rolled my eyes, and after he finally calmed down, I felt a warm hand interlocked our fingers with mine. I turned to Clay, who was smiling, and felt all the embarrassment from the moment before fade away. It was just him and I. This was all that mattered in this moment. That's the end of the video, and all credit goes to Instrumental Break on Wattpad. Anyways, I'll upload maybe again tonight. Anyways, bye guys.